12 wars. Over 35 million human lives gone. Trillions of dollars burned like gasoline. Cities shattered, cultures crushed. All in the name of freedom. But tell me, when bombs fall on kids, when soldiers cry in silence, when a nation plays Call of Duty in real life, is that freedom or just business? This is not a lesson, this is a warning. Welcome to the dark timeline of America's wars, where every bullet has a price tag and death is a full-time export. This is Histoveins, and war is a joke for America. Subscribe, because history is only painful when it's real. Now buckle up, because we're diving into the 12 deadliest wars America ever touched. Each one bloodier, costlier, and more controversial than the last. And trust me, by the end, you'll wonder, is war just another business model? Let's dive into the first war. American Revolutionary War, 1775 to 1783. Reason: a fight for independence from British control, but also a grab for power and land. It began with tea, taxes, and gunpowder. A colony said no to a king and the world caught fire. 25,000 Americans lost their lives before the word freedom got printed. But while the rebels screamed liberty, thousands of black slaves were still chained. They fought tyranny abroad while practicing it at home. A revolution, yes, but built on half-truths and whole contradictions. Now the second war begins. War of 1812. Reason: America wanted to stop British interference in trade and prove its strength as a young nation. The British returned. This time they lit the White House on fire. Over 20,000 lives ended, not for survival, but for trade, pride, and wounded egos. The war ended in a draw, but the losses weren't equal. While flags waved in victory, families buried sons with no reason at all. Here comes the third war, Mexican-American War, 1846 to 1848. The reason? America wanted more land, so it picked a fight with Mexico. America looked south and saw land, so they took it, by force. 25,000 Mexican lives erased, many with no names left to mourn. America gained Texas, California, and more, but left a trail of blood across the border. They called it Manifest Destiny, but Mexico called it invasion. Now enters the fourth war, American Civil War, 1861 to 1865. The reason? A divided nation tore itself apart over slavery, power, and state rights. When a nation split, it tore itself apart with bayonets and bullets. Over 620,000 corpses, stacked like broken dreams. They say it was about ending slavery, but it was also about money, pride, and control. And even after the smoke cleared, the wounds never did. Racism stayed. Only the uniforms changed. Let's light up the fifth war, Spanish-American War, 1898. The reason? America used an explosion in Cuba to justify seizing Spanish colonies. A short war, but a long shadow. America came in as a liberator, and left as an occupier. Only 400 American battle deaths, but thousands died from disease, hunger, and lies. Cuba was freed, but the Philippines got colonized. America didn't help, they moved in. Now the sixth war ignites, World War I, 1917 to 1918. The reason? America joined late to make the world safe for democracy, and protect global interests. America joined late, but with full firepower. In just over a year, 116,000 Americans were dead. For a war that began over a prince's murder, millions were thrown into mud, blood, and gas. They said it was the war to end all wars. But greed doesn't retire. Here comes the seventh war, World War II, 1941 to 1945. The reason? After Pearl Harbor, America jumped in and took control of the narrative and the nukes. America entered after Pearl Harbor, but exited with the loudest bang in history, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Two cities, 200,000 civilians erased by nuclear fire. The Axis fell, but so did humanity's innocence. America became a superpower, with a trigger and no leash. Let's spark the 8th war. The Korean War, 1950 to 1953. The reason? A Cold War chess game. America stepped in to stop communism from crossing borders. A Cold War turned hot. A peninsula split by bombs and ideology. Over 3 million Koreans died, many just trying to live. America sent troops, 36,000 didn't return. And after 3 years of horror, the war changed nothing. The North stayed North, the South stayed South, and the pain stuck in the middle. Now the 9th war explodes, the Vietnam War, from 1955 to 1975. The reason? Another Cold War front. America feared the domino effect of communism, a war fought in jungles, on screens, and in protests. America's first televised bloodbath. 58,000 Americans died, but millions of Vietnamese civilians never got counted. Napalm fell like rain, villages burned, and in the end, America retreated. They didn't win. They woke up. Let's fuel the 10th war. Gulf War, 1990 to 1991. Reason: Iraq invaded Kuwait. America stepped in to defend oil routes and its allies. Iraq invaded Kuwait. America responded like a blockbuster film. 42 days of airstrikes and fire, tanks rolled, bombs dropped, but under every surgical strike was a civilian grave. This wasn't a rescue mission, it was oil politics dressed in desert camo. Now the 11th war drags in. Afghanistan War, 2001 to 2021. Reason: after 9/11, America declared war on terror, and stayed for 2 decades. 9/11 happened, and America declared endless war. 20 years. Trillions of dollars. 2,400 US troops dead. But in Afghanistan, over 170,000 lives lost, many just trying to survive. And when it ended, the Taliban returned like they never left. 20 years for nothing but scars. Now the 12th war burns. Iraq War, 2003 to 2011. Reason: fake claims of weapons. Real war followed. Weapons of mass destruction, never found. But the war went full throttle. Over 4,500 American soldiers killed. But for Iraqis, estimates say hundreds of thousands of civilian lives erased. A nation broken. ISIS born from the ashes. All because someone lied, and millions paid. Now tell me, 12 wars, 35 million lives, is this really about justice? Or is it a long-term investment strategy? Do freedom and profit wear the same uniform? Comment below, what shocked you the most? Subscribe to Histoveins, where we light matches in history's darkest corners, because war was never peace.